It may be the most wonderful time of the year, but some doctors will tell you it's also the most dangerous. According to the American Heart Association, the end of December is when deadly heart attacks are most likely to occur.
Yeah, so our friend Dr. Payal Kolhi is here this morning. She is now, she's also our 9 health expert and a cardiologist. Dr. Kolhi, good morning to you.
Good morning to both of you.
Talk to us a little bit about quote-unquote holiday heart.
Yeah, so holiday heart is really comprised of all the different types of heart disease that can happen over the holidays. And this was shocking to me when the study first came out, which is that the most heart attack deaths of any other day in the year are on Christmas Day, followed by the day after Christmas Day, followed by New Year's Day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So does it have something to do with the holidays? Is it what we eat? Is it the stress? What's behind it?
All of it. So we think it's multifactorial. So it has something to do with the cold weather, we think, but it also happens in places like Los Angeles where it's not so cold. But we know that cold can trigger inflammation, cold can trigger spasm of our blood vessels. In fact, when we're shoveling, we're more likely to have a heart attack because of the cold and the exercise. But as you said, Corey, what we're eating, I mean, most Americans radically change their routines, their diets, their alcohol intake, their sodium intake, their sleep patterns, their stress, the family stress, the financial stress, all of that put together. And then sometimes we're traveling, running around, we miss our medications. So that's really thought to be the multifactorial reason. But one of the most important things that the American Heart Association emphasizes is that people miss or minimize their symptoms over the holidays. So a study out of England tells us that on Christmas Eve, you're most likely to have a heart attack, and actually most likely at 10 p.m. That's not detected.
Why do we miss it?
Because we're eating more, we think it's a little heartburn.
You're making excuses for it, essentially, right?
Exactly, and you're like,
just more stressed right now,
right,
so
yeah.
right. Tension.
I haven't slept properly, maybe that's why I'm feeling a little funny, and plus it's my family's holiday, I don't want to mess it up by going to the emergency room. So many of us minimize our symptoms, and that can result in.
Now, I have a question when it comes to how rapidly we change our diet or how much our diets change around this time. Is it the fact that, you know, it's just the higher intake, or is it that it does change so quickly? Like, had we, you know, maybe ramped it up to that level, would it be a different story?
Yeah, so for some of us that have high blood pressure, for example, we're very sodium sensitive. We're very alcohol sensitive because both of those things can rapidly raise blood pressure. So if you go from eating a moderate amount of sodium, drinking a little bit, to suddenly increasing it, it's really a stress test on those blood vessels that can cause your blood pressure to shoot up, even increase risk of things like stroke. But for most of us that are pretty healthy, that delta can also be a bit of a stress test on our body because our blood vessels aren't used to that type of sodium load or that type of alcohol, and all of a sudden we're inundating ourselves.
Okay, interesting.
What can we do to minimize the risk right now?
Yeah.
Yes, so holiday heart can also be electrical problems with the heart. So if you have any kind of palpitations and things like that, make sure you go to the emergency room. That's related directly to the dose of alcohol that you take. So the first thing I would say is if you're gonna drink, don't drink it all in one night, space it out, drink in moderation, and try to really mix in some water in there so that the dose of alcohol that your heart is getting is a lot lower. Really try to keep that stress level down. So I try to take 20, 30 minutes every day to listen to music, take a walk, do some meditation, just something to counteract, knowing that our stress levels are way up here, and that releases those hormones that can really affect our heart attack risk. And then similarly, if we're on a medication schedule, just make sure you have some sort of a pill box or something. And if you feel something, say something. I cannot emphasize that enough.
Yes, something that anchors you a little bit to the routine you already have.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Kolhi, thank you so much. It was very helpful. I appreciate that.